Serena.
Serena Winters Valley Sports. Coach, where do you think your team found the strength just to pull through with the amount of injuries and ups and downs of this game?
I mean, they have continued to stick together, fight for one another. Like the injuries can be emotionally, staggering at times, but they found a way to keep it together. I thought Kevin was great for us and helping stabilize us. But again, together they figured it out.
Someone else that was kind of maybe an unexpected star of this one, Dylan Windler. I mean, he had 9 rebounds in his 16 minutes there at the end. To be playing in the G League and to give you those types of minutes in this type of game. What can you tell us about him?
I mean, he's like, another guy who's trying to figure out how to help this team win. He does a great job of flying around, coming up with those defensive rebounds. He cuts well. He moves without the ball. He runs the floor. He does a lot of things that won't end up on a stat sheet. But he wants to help us win. And he sees a need, and he's going out and helping.
And Lamar, I mean, he comes down hard on that wrist. You can see him holding it throughout the game, but he has whatever it is, will or stamina to fight through it and play. I mean, we talk so much about his just physicality.
Yeah, he is, the definition or personification of toughness. Whatever he can do, no matter the circumstances, no matter how difficult, no matter the fight, like Lamar's always first in line for it. We appreciate and know how much we value him.
Kelsey Rose of The Athletic. JB, you guys had a 20-point lead at one point, but as the injuries happened, did you see that's where the emotion of those injuries kind of affected as that lead dissipated?
Yeah, and we stopped doing the right things. Obviously, and again, the injuries take a toll on you mentally. It can be a distraction. And through that distraction, we complicated the game to a point where we didn't have to. I thought if we were just continuing to do the simple things over and over again, we were getting positive results. But we figured out a way.
And for Lowry to come back in too after his injury and give you those threes there at the end and the dunk and everything, what did you see from him just kind of working through that and finding his spots at the end of the game?
I mean, there's a fortitude about him, understanding how important this is. And, he's been a guy that you look over the past, 6-7 games, like he's brought it. He's been dealing with a bunch of stuff, but never made an excuse about it. He just figures out a way to get out there and play and help us. Gets his treatment on the off days and then shows up again to do the same thing.
Thank you.
Marlon Rydner, Akron Beacon Journal. We never really heard what happened to Lowry. Was it his leg?
It was a knee to knee. He got bumped knees, yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure you don't know anything about Evan.
Not yet.
I mean, we talked about the small ball thing before the game, but I mean, is it time?
I mean, that's all we got left. That's all we got left. We'll play the guys who are here. Obviously, there's some things that we'll work on tomorrow just to make sure, we have a good understanding of what we need to do. But we'll roll the guys we got.
And who's the junkyard dog?
Dylan was tonight.
Joe G.
Joe G. With your big guys getting banged up, how important is Moses Brown been just in short time?
Yeah, I thought he gave us great minutes tonight. I thought he did a great job protecting the paint, rebounding the ball, running the floor, communicating on the defensive end of the floor. We need a boost in that area, and he does a great job of communicating and putting guys in the right spots.
And Isaac didn't put up huge numbers, but I mean everything he did tonight was pretty efficient. So.
Yeah, I mean that's Isaac. Again, he's a guy who, it isn't sexy all the time, and people don't want to talk about it. But you don't win games in this league without guys like Isaac. Guys that are willing to do things that most people aren't willing to do, without, the acknowledgement or the rewards, or the publicity. But he knows that's how he helps us. And his teammates respect and value him. As a coaching staff, we respect and value him. And it goes, can't go unsaid how important he is to us.
Daryl Ryder, 92 Minute fan. With around under 3 minutes to go, Darius had that 10-footer on the baseline, and then he comes back and hits that three to put you up 8. Just could you touch on that stretch and how that really seemed to help swing that momentum for a final time back in your direction for you guys to hang out.
Yeah, I mean, Darius is a closer, and he has the ability to make all the shots, whether it's at the rim, the mid range, the floaters, off the bounce, catch and shoots. And you look at teams that win, and most of these games come down to the fourth quarter. They have a closer, and Darius is at that level, and it's an elite level.
And I know you touched a little bit on Kev, but again, from distance, those big shots from him, just what kind of lift is he giving you guys when he's able to hit those big shots from the
It's an emotional boost for our guys. Like you can see the way our guys feel about Kevin, and how much they support him and how much they just want to see him be successful. Going all the way back to the beginning of the year, like they understood the sacrifice he made by moving to the bench and accepting that role to help the team. So they couldn't be happier for him when he gets it rolling, and then the crowd gets behind him and gives us an even bigger boost.
Probably got a second. Kristaps. Evan.
Hi, this is Julia Swain from Wadsworth High School's The Bruin. What are the biggest differences that you can see between the team that played tonight and the team that you started out with at the beginning of the season?
I think it's a lot of personnel. The injuries have kind of piled up and taken a toll on, our depth. But what we focus on is how connected the guys have continued to be and how much they want each other to be successful, how much they bought into one another and bought into the team and play for something bigger than themselves. And that's continued from the beginning of the year till now.
With just a few games left in the season, what are the goals for the team moving forward towards a playoff run?
We got to, just play our best basketball. And, we're still working to find it. But understanding, who we are and how we help one another, how we can be efficient on the offensive end, the defensive end, we just got to continue to grind it out.
All right, Kristaps, one more try, buddy.
Hello, Coach. Kristaps said in English, we're doing well. Coach, we show you that you established a three big man lineup. Tonight we show a 3-guard lineup. How satisfied you are about the way that you played with 3 guards on the floor?
I thought they did a good job for, having not been together for a lot and still trying to figure each other out, the spacing, where guys like to be on the floor. But I thought they were willing. I thought they were trying to share the ball and trying to do the right things.
And also for Lowry, how important is his presence, not only about scoring, but also his personality and his leadership role in the team?
Yeah, he's a huge part of who we are. He's evolved on this team, as a guy who changed positions for us to move to the 3 spot. Then with the injuries, he's back to the 4. He's dynamic at that 4. His ability to create space, but like the thing that I'm most appreciative is like he's banged up right now, and he's not making any excuses. He's just going out, competing, playing, and trying to help us finish out this season on the right way.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Last one, Chris.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Sorry if this was asked already. At the midway point of the fourth quarter, you took out Karras and Kevin, and you went with Lamar and Dylan. What went into that decision, and did they ultimately give you what you wanted?
Yeah, I think at that point it was rotation and the length of time that the guys had run. And then, I thought those guys that came in were putting us in a great position to close the game. So just went with the lineup at the moment that I thought that was playing with the spirit we needed to finish and the ability to close us out.
I mean, what does it say about Dylan, though? A guy who's been, spent most of his time with the G League this year. And then in one of your biggest games down the stretch, you went to him to close out the game.
It's an understanding of who Dylan is. And he has an understanding of who he is and how he helps. Dylan is an NBA player. circumstances this year, kind of putting him in a back and forth position. But like, he knows how to impact the game in ways that, you don't always count on a stat sheet or an analytic. And, the more and more he plays, the trust continues to grow. And I feel, confident that I know what I'm going to get when I put him on the floor. And, as a coach, that's what you want. That's what you're looking for. And he's extremely selfless. All he cares about is helping. And when you have that, you feel confident in the guy, and you believe in him that he can do it.
How has he been able to build that trust, even though, he hasn't been playing throughout the course of the year?
I mean, it's with action. Like every time, especially since this last period when he's come back from playing with the Charge, like you look at his effort, you look at his energy, you look at what his focus is, and he just goes out and continues to do that. And when you can hang your hat on that, like that gives him growth, and that gives the coaching staff more trust, his teammates that trust, where we believe in him that he's going to go out and he's going to do those things, and those things help impact winning.
Thank you.
That's it,
All
Jim.
right, thank you guys.
Thank
Have a good night.